Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the week on Going Optimal. Going to kick it off with a Premier Draft. I didn't even ask chat. These tend to take a little less time for me than best of three if we play all 3 rounds of best of 3. So I want to make sure I have a hard stop today. We've got a dental appointment after my stream today. Gonna get another crown started. I got like 3 in my mouth already, and I'll have 6 before it's all over. Take care of your teeth, brush twice a day, and especially, as I told Chad earlier, boy, if you can switch off of sugary sodas are what destroyed my teeth in my youth, and I'm paying for it now. Yeah, they can fill a cavity, but boy, those aren't forever. They fail, and then suddenly you're getting all your teeth crowned. Oh boy! Well, let's put my mind off of that. We'll put our mind on better, more fun things like, hopefully, Magic the Gathering, although sometimes a rough stretch of Magic can be a lot like going to the dentist. That's the funny thing about this hobby of ours. We've taken up this hobby that often just causes us pain. You know, it's like sports fandom that way, but the pleasure makes up for it over time, right? That's the idea. When I'm my best self, it does. When I'm my worst self, that's when I'm letting this game cause me the most pain. But it's up to my brain to contextualize what's going on here and recognize that pain during a game of Magic is still me engaging in my hobby. What a lucky guy, right? Ready to lose, right? That's my new attitude. Don't play if you're not ready to lose, because you're going to lose a lot in here. But again, if you're going to win, you're going to check out my sponsor, Card Kingdom, and all of their incredible inventory and get whatever you need for your tabletop Magic experience there. And of course, if you do check them out and decide to give them your business, please let them know you got there from here. It helps keep me on the air, because then they're super happy. They associate your business with me. GYZ asking me what to do with all that gold. Well, what I really want is to hit 1 million gold. I want to be a millionaire in Arena Gold. I think that's a funny medium-term goal. Maybe it's long-term. I don't know. But also, I mean, because I have so many bullets for the opens right now. On between this account and my other 3 accounts, I have more, way more gold than time for entering those events. So, here's this format for me at this point. What's the you know, anybody who's been playing this format a lot, knows what the real choice is here. Tron does. It's Eaten Alive or Horde, right? Horde, I think, maybe more important than Eaten Alive, but I'm with Baby. I'm with Baby. I don't know if you saw my my tweet over the weekend, but I'm finding black so fought for and red still so wide open that now that I understand that red does work if you do the instants and sorcery side of it, that I like going ahead and taking powerful red instants and sorceries early and seeing if this lane is wide open, especially when there's no other even compelling red in the pack. Then we get past a burn down the house and there's a slash in the pack. This is what I'm talking about. I feel like the tables just give you this deck. And if I had taken Horde, we could be taking Ambush or whatever. But I'm also partly doing this not because it's correct, but because, as I said in the intro, this is my hobby. I'm ostensibly here for fun. I'm talking about my goals for the account being to make it to 1 million gold. We're not struggling for resources. So I need to approach this as I want to approach this like what it is. It's my hobby, and yeah, it's a part-time job too when I do this with you all, but this is for fun, and I'm having a lot of fun playing this deck. And I've played the black deck a gazillion times. Of course, this now kills me, right? Look at this. We got a Horde and an Eaten Live, so the stuff that was in our first 2 packs is still here. We can take an Opportunist though. None of these red cards are worth taking, and the beauty of the red deck, the red spells deck, is that it's a red X deck. You can pair it with anything. So I'm going to take the Opportunist and even if we're competing for black, it doesn't really matter, because my point here is not to get heavy into black. It's to continue to try and go in this red lane and see what we're going to support it with. If it's here, like this is a little bit troubling. The Neonate's Rush is okay, but it's not what I wanted to see here. I was still hoping to see really good red stuff, pick 4, and it could just be a pack that doesn't have any red. You know, it's quite possible that Neonate's Rush is literally the only red card that was in this pack, and this is not a signal at all. Flip the Switch is fine if you expect to get into red-blue specifically, but with Morbid Opportunist and all of this good black still here, I'm going to take Horde or even Ambush. Ambush is goes along with the Opportunist, but I think we're expecting to get a lot of removal out of the red, so let's just get the Horde. Let's take the Horde here. So being pulled into black anyway. And yeah, the red just isn't flowing how like I want to see it. I mean, you might still take the... This is a very powerful card to get back and everything. Yeah, I did like that Ambush too. But I think we take this. Like, I don't want to abandon the red lane yet, and this certainly helps close it off, and nothing in black is worth taking. Carriage is interesting, but I'm going to go ahead and stick to this lane and see what we can find. See if it pays off. This can go in that deck fine. Stinger is a fine low end to, you just crack in with it as you're casting all those instant sorceries. What we want is the Crasher, right? Not is it Festival Crash? No, Festival Crasher? 1/3, whatever that is. There's also the Abomination here, though. Yeah, I know. We could take a blue card to... yeah, I'm going to take Revelation, though. I'm going to stick to my guns. Try to get this... Here we go. Festival Crasher showing up 7th is what we want to see. I know the Elementalist isn't great for all the reasons we've all talked about, but I think it's better than this, than the crowd around here thinks it is in this deck. I mean, getting back a Burn Down the House, that's not a bad play. It's very nice. And another one. You could get a Dreadhound, but we're not passing any Crashers for this deck. And this is where it's an interesting choice here. This deck tries to not have a ton of creatures, so a Crawl from the Cellar is pretty medium. We could just take a Blood Pact where if you are in red-black removal, you actually need the kind of card draw so that you actually win the attrition game. I'm going to take it, but... I'm still not even sure we're playing black. Like now we get a Witch to consider into the white direction. Yeah, we do have Revelation. That's a good point, but I would potentially play 2 depending on how the deck played out. We could also take like a Cover Up as a further... I don't think I want a Mob for this deck, so I'll take a Cover Up. This is me poking around, trying to see what other color... Okay, and this is good. So, like, maybe the Rush was just the only red card in that pack. It came all the way back. Why not Sifters if I'm in red X spells? Because I don't like Sifters in that deck. I don't know. I'm only interested in Sifters if I'm sifting spirits and disturb creatures. And this deck is not pitching spirits or disturb creatures. Ambush. Ugh. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I was worried that that Neonate's Rush might be, oh gosh, there's only a Rush here, pick 4. But look, there's only a Harrier here, pick 1. So you can't always say, oh, there's no whatever color, because you just don't know if it's the packs. Fenrir would consider the rare. You think we could, I guess, nah. I don't, like the double white. Us ending up in double white means pivoting into heavy white, which maybe it's even open, but then we're either we have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards in our deck so far, or we're splashing part of this, and that neither of that seems right to me. So I'm gonna do this. Lunar Frenzy here, sure. Seize the Storm is almost wheelable for us. Like, I think I have to take it because it's so critical to pick these up for this type of deck. but I kind of just want the Flame Channeler, which I feel like could go in any red deck. But I also, the reason I do this is because often the table lets you be the only red drafter. I don't know if we are, but we can risk wheeling one of these and know that our fallback plan is a Neonates Rush, and then that's not too bad. So yeah, that's a fair point, Hat. So I'm going to take the Seize the Storm, and we might just wheel the Flame Channeler anyway. And if we don't, Stolen Vitality or Neonates Rush is a fine fallback. Like, we're going to get something fine on the wheel here. Here's a channel we can take right now. Don't have to try and wheel that. And there's nothing really fighting for that. I should note that we took Burn Down the House over Moonrager's Slash #2. So somebody took a Moonrager's Slash. It doesn't mean they're red. Maybe they took it and abandoned the color or whatever. Here's another reason I like the heavy red spells deck. You just get to dabble in where you're going to be from here. So we can take a Hoarder and maybe wheel the Rush, but we can consider playing the Hoarder. I don't think we even play the cover up if we're blue, but we're trying to be heavy red, and then whatever. You think we're firmly red-black? I don't think so. Horde. I guess this stuff is pretty good. Blood Pact is whatever, though. And then that gives us really three black cards that we're happy with. And Organ Hoarder is better than 2 of our black cards. Like, Organ Hoarder is right there with Morbid Opportunist. I don't mind hedging there. Now we can even take another Hoarder. By carving out the red lane, yeah, I would take was it Fenrir? Was it you who were really high on these? Or like play 3 of these? I'm still not sure where I land. I totally see the value of this. It being 2 spells for this deck and everything. Media, like I'm gonna take another Hoarder. I don't know if I'm on 3, but certainly my respect for this card is rising for this deck. As is Abandon. I know Mike was talking about that. Again, if we're doing the red-black side of things, we probably have enough removal where we're not abandoning because they don't have blockers anyway. But I do like this. Again, it lets you cast 2 spells for spell triggers, and it does, in the late game, you can clear 4 blockers. So I'm going to take it now, over the Crawl. But that wasn't obvious to me. But also, again, I'm leaning to the red cards because I know I'm going to play red for sure. And that's why I'm going to take this Stolen Vitality here. Stolen Vitality plus Festival Crashers is real early game pressure. This is a hard, like, sometimes if you get the play and a Crasher on 2, sometimes your opponent just is going to be in real trouble to just this simple Stolen Vitality. Secrets I'll take at a spot like this. I'm not going to prioritize it, but absolutely, if they show up here, take it and consider it. Might versus Duel. Might is probably better. Take the Candle Guide. Did y'all watch the limited portion of Worlds? I thought it was very interesting how bad their decks were, and I've said that before. It's just like I think the packs were bad in like at least the first draft, but also I think the bottomless stack of incredible players means that there's just not a lot. Nice, we're kind of getting hooked up here. You don't get to take advantage of any bad drafters at the table. And they do pivot a lot, right? War Furnace, they all stayed so dang open that they were all short on playables too. Oh yeah, this is you're right. Let's take this and we could take this and try to wheel this, but this is more on plan, and we know we're in red. I think we might be red-blue is the thing. You're right that this is super bomby. And surely, again, this is not necessarily even about what's the most powerful. It's about me wanting to do this thing. And I really think we're more blue than black at this point. But I find myself at the end of these drafts with a lot of choices on that front I've found. Yeah, I think Overwhelmed is fine. It's no Organ Hoarder. We have 2 Organ Hoarders, so it's not that important. But neither is a Revelation that we're almost certain to wheel if we do want to try the triple media. Red Wolf. Yeah, maybe we could take it just to have early things to do. That's fair. But are we taking Burn here over just a Angler? I might have to take the Angler if we assume we're blue. We're definitely not white, so we're just figuring out what Grixis combo we are. Yeah, you're not right. You're not wrong, Fenor. The 3, well, I never had 4, but 3 Thermo Alchemists made that other deck we had sing for sure. I am going to take Angler here. But boy, especially with the 2 Seize the Storms, we really want the instants and sorceries here. We really do. Maybe even another cover up, and we consider the double cover. Yeah, we can take Awakener. It's true that we could still be black. Observer in this deck. Yeah, that's fair. This might be the choice, although I kind of like a Carriage at the top. Yeah, it's fine. If we're blue, we'll play a Carriage at the top of this. I just want to see more instants and sorceries. I will take an Observer, though, over a Perforator. And I'm going to continue shoring up the early game with Angler over Zombie. Zombie's not going to have enough friends to often do its thing. Not going to play a second Abandon the Post. I'll take a Raise in case we decide we want that trick. You think we're playing this, though? I mean, I don't really... If it did it for cards with flashback, sure. I mean, I guess this is whatever. I'll take it and we can talk about it. I don't think we're playing this, and I'm going to put it in the board right now, but maybe during deck building you can convince me. Last Chance Crasher is a site for Sore Eyes. I was kind of sad that we only had the 2, so getting a 3rd here is nice. Immolation doesn't do the thing. Electric Revelation does, but we've got the Deuce on it already. And Brimstone Vandal is possible, but I'm going to take the Revelation. I don't know if we're doing 3, but we're certainly not doing 4. Maybe I should take a Gale Drifter here. We're not playing 4. I'm going to put a Gale Drifter on the board and we'll see. Consider, though, we'll play. And here's another Sifter or another Observer. I'm going to take the Observer. I just don't see how this is a Sifter deck, but if Sifter gave a +1/+1 counter for pitching flashback cards, I'd be in with you on it, but it doesn't. But let's see. We have only the 1 Spirit itself. And we pop this up and say Disturb. We have 3 creatures with Disturb. That's just not enough. Yeah. That's fair. If we thought that it did flashback too, that would be a reasonable consideration. I do think our blue ended up better than our black, even though the black card individually is the best one there. And then now we get to trim away the stuff we don't want. I guess this could be a secrets deck. It's just so clunky. I think I'm going to cut it and bring it in if we really feel like we need it. What's our instant sorcery count without it? We're at 16 instants and sorceries here. Maybe go to 15, though. I'm not sure I like these cover-ups. And let's see our creatures. What creatures do we really want to keep here? Like Perforator, I think we can ditch. Elementalist, again, I'm keeping, casting an extra Seize the Storm token, recasting Burn Down the House. It all just does enough for me. I think I cut a Revelation. At least one. Maybe with the Consider we cut 2, and then we've kind of got like 2 Considers and a Revelation doing that style of thing. Abandon the Post. It's not bad. It's narrow, is how I would put it. And I like it when my removal suite isn't where I want it to be. And really, honestly, this removal suite isn't where I want it to be. We've got Burn Down the House and a Moonrager's Slash. So I'm actually gonna, and we got these rushes. I don't even know if we want 3. Like they just cycle, so it's fine, and they do some damage. So we probably, and actually rush with Crasher is interesting because in a desperation situation, you can use a Crasher to take out a 4 toughness. But yeah, I think one of these can go, if not 2 even. I think an Angler can go. But I think I like the ramp to the Seize and the Burn, and, you know, we don't have any 4 drops that we're ramping to spell-wise. So the Observer doesn't really ramp us to 4. I don't know, baby. We've got Burn Down the House and Moonrager's Slash. Those are the good kill cards. Munate's Rush is not a good kill card. It's it replaces itself, so it's acceptable. But if I'm chalking up where my removal is strong, I'm not necessarily including these. Yeah, you say clunky looting. I'm only playing 1, though, and I think we do want 1. Helps with the mana situation. You can pitch lands late. Definitely playing 1. And I, again, definitely want the Elementalist because we have the Burn Down the House and because we don't have a lot of great removal. Really, Elementalist becomes our 3rd piece of great removal because we can get back a Slash or a Burn Down. Yeah, you want the 2nd Angler back. Yeah, it's reasonable. It's not, certainly doesn't suck. All right, here I'll cut, well, I kind of want to cut 1 of each anyway. It is a high rate card. You put in 2. I mean, at this point, it's over what? And we're not obviously cutting any Crashers. Do you want 2 Anglers, no Observers? We are playing a spell deck where Observer is going to be ramp. You know, this is a legit ramp card for us. And at 2 power, it trades. This is one of the heavy played cards at the Pro Tour. Like, everybody playing blue had an Observer or 2 in their deck. Again, not because it's great, but because of making sure you get playables at the Pro Tour with the way they draft. Anyway, we're close. We could even, with 2 Considers, we could consider 16, but I think that's just me trying to be greedy, and we should stay at 17 and know that we can loot away extra lands. Yeah, this is definitely interaction. It's interaction, but it's not removal. Interaction is not removal. always. It's weaker removal. Anyway, still stand by. Interaction is a poor person's removal. You know what I mean? Often stronger. Combat tricks often stronger than removal. I give you that combat tricks can win a game. So like Stolen Vitality and Lunar Frenzy can actually do damage, not just kill a creature. So in those instances, yeah, it can be stronger. But I'm going to stand by the Abandon, I think, partly because I want to keep these numbers up here for our 2 Seas the Storms. So if I'm going to be that way about it, what are you going to cut then, Ryan? A land or if you're not cutting any of these, what are you cutting up here? Are you cutting a land or are you cutting like one of these other 2s? It's fair. I'm going to stick to my guns, though, on me not wanting to go down any further on instants and sorceries. Post. What's post? Oh, abandon the post. Got it. I was thinking of it as abandon. It's not crazy to cut carriage. It's only getting but it's got 2 things to get. It also does get flashback. Never mind. It gets Seize the Storm. So I think no, we don't cut. It is great. We don't cut this. It gets flashback, so it gets our we can get an extra Gigantor. So maybe I'm being stubborn and just need to let go one more spell. And maybe it is like the Vitality. Although both Abandon the Post and Vitality do really nothing without creatures, which is why I'm thinking, so does Lunar Frenzy. Like these are the trio that without creatures doing something, like what are you even doing? So probably cutting one of these then, and the worst one is Post or Vitality. Definitely not cutting the Frenzy. Consider, I think, I don't want to cut it. It's a nice way to, we're somewhat of a combo deck. We want to find these Seize the Storms. We want to find our big rare sweeper. I've come up on Consider, especially in the spells deck, and yeah, exactly. We're keeping the Frenzy. So I'll cut Abandon the Post. Since Abandon the Post and Stolen Vitality both say, hey, you need a creature to do anything, but Stolen Vitality says, hey, you can be part of our actual removal suite, right? This can be removal, whereas when we were debating our tricks removal, I mean, if they were removal, we'd call them removal. We call them tricks for a reason. They're not exactly removal, but they can be removal. And Abandon the Post can't be removal. So I think I like this, and yeah, we want a 9-8 split, and we're going to call this Seize Carpe Diem, or like Carpe is the Seize part, right? So instead of Diem, is there a, what's the Latin word for festival? Crasher. Carpe. Come on, somebody's got to finish this joke for me. Carpe Carnival. Carpe Festival. How about Carpe Party? Because, right, like, Seize the Festival is really what we're doing. Festival Crasher. But, it sounds fun. Or what's Latin for storm? We can just literally do seize the storm in Latin. All right. So black ended up being so open. Like, if you just taken the obvious path and pick one to Diregraph Horde, I think you would have a sweet black deck. We almost ended up in black. We passed that. We opened a pack 3, pick one black rare bomb. Yeah, your black deck would have been insane in this draft. No question. But I have no regrets. I like this. I like playing the spells deck. It's fun. I like mixing it up at this point in the format. I've cast my share of Diregraph Hordes. I have not cast my share of Seize the Storms yet. That's how I'm feeling about things. You tell me how you're feeling about this thing. How good is this deck? Oops, sorry. I tried to hit. What? Come on, finger. Wow. Gimps, you think 17 is too much? Or you just like that meme? I think with the looting, we'll be fine. And that flashback on those seizes is no joke either. Festum? Carpe Festum? Do we get a better name for this? All right, let's do that.
Things that I used to know have gone out the window.
If you get 2 free memes, have you gotten any free memes? That's your philosophical question for the day. Ponder that as I turn them off. I like the deck. It's not the most busted version of this thing that I've ever had. The most busted versions I've had include the rare artifact that gets counters. It does that whole amulet from Zendikar thing. Well, we can keep this on the strength of the Consider. And the Hoarder. It's good looking. Excuse me, good looking hand, just needs red. We'll find it. Thanks, Connie. I like the Latin scholars figuring it out. Oh man, this card is so important to what we're doing. But we can't cast it without red. I just know I'm gonna... Oh, that is the hardest adulting pick here. Ah! Yeah, War Furnace, you're right. I just want to gaze at it for another second here. Can I? Just gonna gaze at it and then take the action. Oh God. Here comes the mountain. All right, that actually makes me feel better. Oh no, there it is. There's the mountain. There's the mountain. We needed it, I know, but that was hard. That was hard. 1 toughness creature, come on. Nope. With the rush, I always root for them to play 1 toughness, of course. We get Moonrager's slash up and the rush up. We're not gonna slash the zombie. Thank you for the meme reminder. I was too busy being super sad.
Consider this. Consider this.
They're not playing anything. That makes me nervous because I really don't want to play an Organ Hoarder into open blue mana. I'm going to go to our turn. We'll figure out what to do. All right, Festival Crasher gives us an alternative. I'm going to take it. If they want to counter this, that's fine, but I don't want to lose the Hoarder. I don't think Slash would force the counter, Gdanmore. If I'm Oppo, I'm letting me slash the zombie. I'm not going to counter it. Especially with me heading into my next main phase.
All things that I used to know have gone out the window.
Turned it off this time. Write a note that says your cart dome light is on. Put it in front of their front door and then ring the doorbell and run away. Yeah, if you know if they're neighbors you know the number of, you can just text them or something. My neighbors have texted me about. Yeah, let's immediately call the cops. Let's get the police involved. All right, Flame Channeler slash Blood Chief seems fine here. We get to flip our Channeler into a 3/3 and take out their growing threat. This zombie is really annoying, because if it attacks again, I'm not going to block again. I would rather trade the Hoarder off for it next turn, and then actually try to use this ability here. Although, between that counter, between this thing getting a counter as well, we're kind of put to a test here, and we just have to. We're going to trade. We have to trade it off now. Could still trade it off with Hoarder. Didn't want to give him another counter on the blood. I said Blood Chief. It's Blood Thief. Excuse me. The only, like, to save this to try to get value down the road off of the activated ability just feels a little greedy to me, when if we stabilize here, we should be fine. And yeah, we're going to go Hoarder, and let's see, what ones, we have any, we have a Consider, so we want to leave the blue up. No, like what do you, we have a Consider, we don't have any red 1-drops. So we'll take the Rush. Oh, but it's true that we hadn't played a land yet, right? So if we decided to keep a mountain, we'd have some options opened up. But I like keeping the Consider up. And then we're just take the Rush here. I'm being greedy. Yeah, we could take the land and play the Angler. It just doesn't seem all that important to me, as opposed to just piling up power. Heck, now we can double rush the two. Well, we already killed traded off for the zombie, but we can double rush something. Not going to happen though, because I expect they send in the 2/2 here to grow their thief. And I keep saying thief into a 3/3. At which point that trick doesn't work. Well, they got a trick that's gonna work, and that is flipping their Awakener into a 4/4 and drawing off of this dumb old token. Let's see. I assume Donate to Win knows what's up here. Certainly not pausing, suggesting that they're in control mode. Seems like a great turn for them. Hoarder still trades with the Thief. And with Neonate's Rush, it could even trade with up here. And we do have Vitality as well, so we could go Archivist and hold Vitality. And if Archivist produces a land, we even have Vitality or Rush or Revelation, which is also an instant. So anyway, we're going to go do this. Yeah, we could have blocked and had them decide if they were going to, yeah, maybe put them to the test. I'm going to discard the Revelation here. We can cast it later and then play the island here and have all of our tools available. You can even send in the Hoarder. It telegraphs, but I'll leave it back on D. We might want to double block. Or we might want to block two things if they send everything. If they send everything, we put Hoarder on Thief, Archivist on Demon, and Rush the Demon to finish it off. They didn't send the Blood Thief, which is good. It probably means they don't have any extra tricks. I mean, they do have this Crawl from the Cellar. But if they get the Awoken Demon back, we can rush it before, hopefully, they actually are able to sack it, because it's going to be 4 to bring it back. I suppose they could bring it back and then do the whole thing later. But we are going to, anyway, Archivist and offer up this plus Rush. And we can even, we just take this, we let this happen, and we rush at end of turn. Let them spend their mana, don't play into a flip or something if they're going to tap out. Well, they left mana up, so this might get countered. I guess we find out. But Archivist has value in the yard, so even if we get blown out here in our effort to stop this, we have lots of action to try and stabilize from here. Well, they haven't snapped off a counter. I feel like if it was flipped, they would just fire it off, but I don't know. Sometimes people stare at cards for a while before they cast them. Not me, though. I am on the faster side of Magic playing. This has become a more and more main deckable spell. It's really good against us. But I'm glad they're firing it off before we do our seizing. And on that front, I'm liking, with 7 mana, we can seize and blink. Or hold up Vitality, but I like Hoarder for the Thief, so this is fine. We'll do, or you can even Angler, I suppose. Oh, do they have 2? Yeah, Double Reunion is asking to get something stuck in your hand. But no, they only have 1, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm misunderstanding you. Oh, casting it twice, yeah. Well, they just wanted to do it while we couldn't use that. Like, because as soon as you see the first one, you better do the second, because I'm going to then prioritize casting my stuff out of the yard, right? I think that I understand why they did that. What I'm trying to figure out is what I'm casting here. I'm going to go Observer, because with the mana might be relevant with a Seize the Storm flashback. I mean, we have the mana to flash it back already, but if we draw another land, we'll have Seize plus Stolen, for example. Hex Seize plus Angler. It does, because it's the same card. The card never leaves the battlefield and is the same creature. It's just, the idea is it's transformed. some of the some of transform cards or have things like exile this and then bring it back in flipped or whatever. Those, if something gets exiled, it's going to lose all that stuff. But if the rules on the card don't talk about exiling and just talk about transforming, that means the card never leaves the battlefield. Even though it is possibly a free block here, this is where Blade Brand and Cut Purse, like, we just don't want to give those cards value. So we're just going to take it. I mean, if we block to draw out stuff, what are we drawing out? If we block with these two, they happily let the trades happen. If we block with this one, we are drawing out something that kills our best creature. We don't want to do that. Although if they have Blade Brand, I mean, I'd still rather have them use a real creature. That's the thing. I just don't want to give them like Blade Brand value here. And if I thought I was really concerned about my life total, I could trade off a 2/1 for damage, but I'm not ready to pay 2 life to or gain 2 life, sack an observer to gain 2 life. That just doesn't seem right. Now we see what that was about. So effectively, it was a bluff attack in that they probably didn't have anything to punish me for blocking with the 5/5, but we still don't even know. They might still have the Blade Brand or the whatever, you know, and they just didn't use it because I didn't do the thing. Now, just Vitality to trade off, and another... This just is another 5/5, but that's enough to eat. And then these two can even double block to trade for the zombie. So currently, nothing gets through here if we just seize again. I'm going to do that. Also gets it out of the yard in case they have more graveyard hate. Like, this is a deck that could drop a 5th land and have the Diregraph Horde to take that out of our yard. Yeah, I don't... There's probably weird backflips they're doing to make transformable planeswalkers work on that kind of stuff, yeah. It's all just writing the rules and making sure they parse well for the players. Well, I don't know if that's good or bad for us. On the one hand, they're not going to add anything to the board here. On the other hand, their card quality is going to increase significantly. They have this later flashback option, and basically puts me in a more aggressive mindset of, even though they're at 19 and us 10, feeling like I need to do some work to make this work. And here's why, here's what I mean. Like, Elementalist gets a bad rap. This is a fine card for us here, being able to get a second use of a Moonrager's Slash if we want. Don't even need to do that now, per se. With the Stolen Vitality and the Rush, we get a pretty clean attack with our... I'm going to send... I'm going to leave the Organ Hoarder back to block, but we're going to get aggro with our 5/5. If they go for a double block, we kind of blow them out with stuff, I think. I don't know. Maybe they actually had reasonable blocks there. I'm going to say if they're taking it, we're going to say that's fine. And I'm going to switch to Carriage, and then we hold up Vitality. Carriage holding up Vitality seems fine here. And we can go get our other C's. In fact, it's our only option. What do you know? 6/5 carriage could be a surprise for that Blood Thief. And I'm still ready to put Hoarder and Observer on the 4/4 Menace. Corpse Cobble can explain all pauses and everything at this point. I didn't do carriage before combat because I wanted the ability to have both Neonate's Rush and Vitality available during the attack. Then when they didn't block, I had the mana for carriage. We gave up a point of damage to have the to have that accessible. All right, so they're going to go for presumably aggression here. I don't know if the Thief is coming in, but I'm ready to double block in the Menace if they don't. If they bring in the Thief, we block that and pump. If they bring in just the Menace... Alright, so with that, I do like accepting the Menace damage and attempting to win combat against the Thief. Maybe they thought they were just going to try and win the race here and get us to 2. I don't know. It's suspicious, though, or I agree with you. But it did create blocks, but maybe they have something else here. It's trample. It's first strike here. So yeah, actually we could go... this is fine. The first strike is just as good for us as the 1 toughness, but it's interesting to note. And they paused as well. We might get blown out here, but we don't have choices. This is what we're. This is our game plan. Because the pauses stopped being explained by Corpse Cobble there. All right, all right, all right. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana for spells if we wanted it. This is 7. So we can do Angler and Seize, and then the Observer is tapped at that point. Can I just get him dead? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Elementalist getting back. And if we rush, this gets bigger. It's not nighttime, so 9 mana, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're 1 off from Rush, Elementalist, and 3 damage, which would just kind of end it. I'm going to play this. Yeah, trample spell, maybe that is. They're tapped out, right? That's a good point. So, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, I think it actually does it with the Neonate's Rush. Oh, but it's 1 short, right? Like we need 1 more mana. Oh no, we have it with the Observer, but I need to attack with the Observer. So, oops, I didn't even... I think Vitality is correct here, but it's not exactly perfect. We get to go like this, and we have Vitality Rush, and maybe that's enough. I'm gonna do this at least. They got a block here, and so now 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because this goes to the yard. 11 from the damage, 12 because it goes to the yard. 13 because it takes a point off here. Yeah, we get it. And then this finishes it off. Okay. Oh no, I did it wrong? Did I do the math wrong? What did I get wrong there? I got something wrong there, obviously. And now are we just dead? My math was bad. Sorry, gang. I must have double counted something in my neonate's rush damage. Well, the elemental had trample. That's the thing. That's why I didn't put it there. It has it inherently. So yeah, I don't know exactly how I missed the math there. Maybe somebody on YouTube will explain it to me. But we fortunately were far enough ahead that we didn't lose to that miscount. But easily could have dropped the game there off of a crackback with a little support from Oppo. So we dodged a bullet. Free lessons, free math lessons for Ryan. Yeah, my inclination these days, and when I say these days, I mean like literally the last 4 or 5, has been to take powerful red burn spells first pick over other good stuff just to try to be in this lane because it's usually so open. Although this is not a great opener for the open deck. I think I'd already played a land though, didn't I? I think I played it because I was counting it out, so I don't think we had a land to play. I'm gonna mulligan this. Keeping this. And let's see. With the Consider, I'll keep the Frenzy. We'll ditch a mountain. 2 lands and a Consider means we should be able to find another land, although I could also just ditch the Consider. If what I'm going to do with the Consider is find land with it, I can just pitch it. The thing is, finding land with Consider puts an instant or sorcery in the graveyard, which makes a bunch of our other spells better. So that's the reason to do it that way. Yeah, I'll do it that way. That's a good enough reason for me. And we also just might naturally draw land and not even have to take land with the Consider. So we'll see. We'll see what the deck offers up, but we don't have to take land here if it's land versus spell situation. Or, you know, if it's like, yeah. So I'm actually going to take the action and mill it. A little greedy, but you know me. I'm a little greedy. But that's why. I mean, turns out in this game you draw lands. Until you don't, and then you hate life. I love Rush with a turn 2 Crasher, though. That's sweet. Most people smartly don't block in spots like this, but we'll give them a chance. And we're not even going to pump anything. We're going to just Archivist since we drew a play. Not much that we're happy to discard here, but if we draw another land, I'll discard a land. If we draw a spell, well, let's see what the spell is. Could probably just ditch the Rush here. Adds to the instant sorcery count in the yard. We can get it back with the Elementalist if we decide that it's worth it. And we still get the Elementalist for sure next turn, or Channeler plus Frenzy or something like that. I'm going to ditch the Rush. That's my thought. I see Hat kind of answering the question there. That's I appreciate that. Looks like chat's going to give you good thoughts on that topic as I think about what this means. Could just mean they're looking to draw a card here. A lot of open mana. I'm going to drop this mountain and send in with the Lunar Frenzy ready. And I think we just let this happen and go for an Elementalist getting back the Rush, or even getting back the Consider. I guess we get back the Consider. I'd rather look a little deeper into the deck. I'm questioning whether this resolves anyway, but if they want to counter the Elementalist, that's fine. This, of course, the problem people have with the Elementalist is the body it leaves behind, if it can't attack and doesn't trade with anything, hasn't really given you a card, right? And right now, this really isn't doing much, but I continue to maintain that 2 points of power is just generally going to be a relevant thing, given enough time. But the other problem being you don't necessarily have enough time in this format. Here, though, note that Frenzy doesn't deal any damage, so it doesn't flip the Channeler. So that could have been a reason to like get the rush back, since it actually does flip our Channeler. But I think we'll find... Let's consider first and then decide what to play. Take that action. Carriage is nice, and I think they will block. And I want to play the Channeler 3/1 first strike from the Elementalist. Well, if they choose to block the Elementalist with the 1/3, we'll Lunar Frenzy for 1 and play the Channeler. If they block with the Horde, we're happy to not play the Channeler this turn to kill the Horde. So we're going to send everything. And make this a bit of a race. Yeah, so we could... Interesting choice. We could Frenzy to save the Crasher and just let the Elementalist go and still have the Channeler. We can Frenzy the Elementalist to save it, but then the Crasher goes. I guess the Crasher is the better creature. So even though, like... But Elementalist would kill both. If we save the Crasher, the Triska Decaphile lives. So actually, I've changed my mind. With the Phantom Carriage representing a potential game-winning attacker, I'm going to go ahead and get both of their things dead. That's my plan. Slick and sick and slick. Well, now we can carriage. Not that we have a ton of instant sorceries in the yard right now. But we can carriage for our C's and have the mana next turn to actually flash it back. With only... I guess, do we offer any of this? I'm not liking offering any of this. Let's start with Carriage. Ooh, 3 mana. Are we getting flipped? You gonna flip us off? No, no flip. Larder Zombie explains pauses, so we don't know that they have any instants in hand or anything. You like swing with the 3/2, but then I guess we can trade for the Larder Zombie and not give them a card off the Occultist. That would be okay. And then we do get something back with this. That's fair. But let's start here. Electric Revelation is kind of interesting. We could cast it pitching the island and actually get a couple cards of action as opposed to just a 3/3 next turn. And that couple cards of action might include a seize that we can cast for its front, its hand value, not just graveyard value. Yeah, let's do that. I think I've talked myself into it. We're not... it's not like we're desperate for a creature or we die or something. We're actually trying to win a long game. And I'm with Tron. Yeah, we can also offer this because of the flying angle. Getting this up in the air seems great. So if they want to trade anything for it, cool. We get a flyer. And I don't mind showing that we're tapped out and making that clean offer. All right. I don't mind that at all, really. We get to loot again. and they used a card on that and didn't get a card's worth of value, I think. So if we got him into tempo life gain mode, that's good for us. And next turn we can kind of do it all. With 7 mana, we can pitch the island to the Rev and Archivist. And we'll Rev first in case we get lands to pitch to the Archivist. And more, like, value, like, yes, this sets us back, but I also, again, don't mind this too much. It's cost us a card, though, so it's fair that they did that. But we, you want to pitch the Archivist? I don't like that. I think we just, yeah, I mean, it's nice to get 2 points of power in the air, but we're going to get a Phantom Carriage in the air anyway. In fact, maybe we should just do that now. They don't have the mana to counter it, and we can do all this other stuff later, and we can get more value into the yard, even. I'm going to get the flyer in the air. 4 power flyer in the air with them at 12 and no flying blocking has got to be the play. Again, could just take the Angler to get more stuff in the air. But we can take Seas, and yeah, I'm going to take the Seas now. I'm still clinging to this land to potentially Rev, but now with the Seas, we kind of need it anyway. But we might not necessarily play it next turn. Yeah, I'm going to play the land, but it's not completely clear to me. Could be that they bounced things for a couple turns knowing they had removal behind. So this is all just like, okay, and now we're going to do that. This is a little interesting. This is probably a Corpse Cobble. Smells like a Corpse Cobble. But I'm not ready to throw an Elementist in front of it just because I believe that's what they're up to. Because if we block, then we save 2, and if they want to cobble, they have to. In fact, we save 4 if they want to cobble the zombie. Boy, maybe that's not a bad idea. If our plan in the air is really, you've never seen me cat. I like Blade Brand in this format. I think it's good. I'm gonna say the Elementalist is spare enough that this is an interesting block. That says, if you're trying to Corpse Cobble, I'm going to make it not great for you. They've answered a carriage with a carriage. We get to go hunting for the pump spell. That's what I'm going to do here. Yeah, they didn't graveyard anything off carriage. I wonder, maybe they just don't have anything. They just have a 6 mana 4/4 flyer. One time, +3/+1. Oh, did we? Yeah, it was other game. I didn't think it was this one. Oppo, you want to look for something with your larder zombie? That's why we're waiting. Maybe they're getting a snack. Maybe they're talking to chat. All right, sorry, I got a little distracted. Definitely pitching the land. Say definitely. We're not like, yeah, we're definitely pitching the land. Well, we're going to offer the carriage, and we're going to send in everything here. And the nice thing is that Rush flips the channeler into a 3/3. So if they try to go for a block on the channeler to, like, eat it, anyway, we can send in everything, and they have no blocks that I'm unhappy with. Oh, we don't even have the 3/2 to send, but anyway, happy to send both of these here with the Rush in hand. Just so we go like here. And then, unfortunately, can't get 5 damage. That would be sweet, because then we kill both of these. But I don't even care that their occultist won't live anyway. Or their occultist won't die and give them a card anyway. And this doesn't really matter. We're just really doing it to flip the channeler, and draw a card, not getting any major value here. We do have a second consider to consider. So maybe we draw that and cast it. Haven't played a land and could play this, but we have this Rev that's looking to find something to pitch, and we can already cast the Seize the Storm, so we're going to hold this. Strong Vivisection. Generally, people are happier to just be playing Organ Hoarder and whatnot, but in blue-black with a ton of sacrifice, I think this is fine. If you, especially, again, it's about jobs. If you've got a ton of Organ Hoarders, you just don't need this, but you don't get a ton of Organ Hoarders anymore. So, get the job done, right? Observer... Or just Seize. I like... This could reflect... I'm going to Seize. Well, it kind of makes me want to play the... Maybe I shouldn't Seize. What's this going to be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 6. 6/6 is pretty good, though. Yeah, that's pretty good. But I also don't need to do it pre. It does put a thing on the flame, but I can't even use it. So let's. I'm gonna send in first, because getting a embodiment trigger ahead of combat on a 6-drop that's going to tap us out unless we play the mountain makes it not really matter. There's the Blade Brand. Yeah, that's a lot of value for them, unfortunately, but it gets that out of the way of our impending larger creature, so not the worst. And it made us comfortable that we knew we'd at least resolve this. Oh, did I miscount again? How did I get 6? Apparently I can't count today, and I'm coming up one more than I should, and it's hurting me. Let's see. Why did I get... We got 1. Oh, I know what it is, because I counted this, and then hit the graveyard, and it slid back in, and I counted it again. I got it. Oh, yeah, Neonate, that's it. No, you got it. Neonate's Rush doesn't count because it only counts flashback cards. It's that weird wording, right? Yeah. All right, speaking of Organ Hoarder being the card draw you want, we're going to do that over the Revelation here. If we... maybe I should play the mountain just because, well, they haven't shown flip, and if they had, like, if we get this flipped, it's because they just drew it. I am not going to play around a top-decked flip, because they've had the chance to flip and haven't used it. Burning down the house. Forgot that card was in our deck. I think it's going to be good for us. We're going to take it. And we even get Angler in the Yard. And with the Angler in the Yard, I'm going to go ahead and Mountain and 2 spell here after I attack. What do we want more? Angler is more important. But I guess, again, it doesn't, like... They just have not shown counter magic. I don't know what the... Maybe it's another bounce spell, another revenge. Something was pausing, but they didn't do anything. I don't know. What was it? I mean, Hasty Devils ought to do this if they're off of counters here. But Hat, look, if we go with the 5 damage mode and wipe the board, how do we lose from there? Our top decks are much better than theirs, he says, staring at 4 cards to effective none. Well, now I think they are a flip the switch missing. If they don't have flip the switch, I don't know how they win this game. I think burn the house down is going to get it. Oh, I guess they could make us discard it. That would be sick. No way out is a way out, in fact. Well, now they could have more options in Counterland. There's the 4 mana one at common and the 3 mana one at uncommon. I think we're winning. Their lollygagging here suggests that they are not even able to find a way to beat what's on board and are trying to find a way out. So, I mean, you never know. It could, sometimes it's something else, but the most common thing we're seeing here is them realizing they have no way out and that even what we have on board is lethal. Just so.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Oh, I missed the flood request. We can do that too.
Oh, here comes the flood.
Moash! That mother... Ungrateful... turd bag. Boy, I have to scroll 2 sets down for that one.
I'll turn this damn bus around. That'll end your precious little field trip pretty damn quick, huh?
Consider our options. Another rush.
Consider this. Consider this.
I'm going to take the action. We already have a rush. It's going to be a long time before we can double rush. And we need more lands. Yeah, the way Sanderson attempts to explore modern societal and health issues in the context of the Stormlight Archives is really interesting and really gets very strong in the fourth book. Make it or plant impossible to resist ideas in the heads of the meme makers. All right, well, slashing one of these seems excessive, but Archivist trading for one would be fine. I'm gonna drop this and see what we loot. Ooh, a seize. Now there's a temptation to loot away flashback cards, but I would rather loot away the things that will make this bigger when we cast it on 5, and that means Stolen Vitality or Rush again. Having seen no targets yet for the Rush, I'm inclined to let another one of these go. But it does replace itself. So, like, we can ditch the Vitality, and then Rush we can cast, and it replaces itself, so that's nice, too. I think I'm going to ditch the Vitality on that idea. And I'm going to accept this, hope it's just a straight trade. All the witches. The witches of Eastwick over here. Cannot 2-spell as it sits, so I'm going to observe. And also block with this, if they will allow. Feel like our long game is pretty strong, so I'm just trying to survive these aggro decks with blocking. We could even Lunar Frenzy to try and keep it alive. Let's see what they come up with here. They could drop a creature that makes these witches fly. Yeah. Well, only fair, we passed this in draft, and so even though we're not playing in pod, it's kind of like we're getting punished for in pod play here with this Jadar. Although Jadar, we have a nice answer right there. I like that. If they send in the commando, we're happy to take that trade. If not, we're at least happy that the observer is holding it back. Yeah, I'm going to go block, and we're going to go ahead and use the frenzy here. We're playing on defense now. We want the witches to be grounded, and we still have the removal for the bomb rare. They're pausing, and that concerns me. Because this doesn't have anything to destroy. So something in their hand is operating at instant speed. I'm not going to play the frenzy into it. I know Seize the Storm we can cast with the Observer, but I'm happy to just let this trade happen. And I'm not going to play into that, Flare or something like that. Problem is, Rush leaves us a little light on follow-up action. I mean, we're going to take 6 next turn minimum. But then if we find a land, we can potentially carriage. That's true. Maybe I was supposed to block to get the flare out of their hand. Or try it to get the flare out of their hand. That's completely fair. Yeah, Seize we can count as well, if I can count it correctly. 1, 2, 3. So we can make a 3-3, but then the Seize goes to the yard, so 4-4. 4-4. Interesting. This flies, though. You think we have to seize? Oh, I assume it's going to fly. I mean, they play any creature that's not a 2 or a 1 and it flies. I just, my guess is this is going to fly. But you're right, it doesn't fly now. Maybe we have to take that chance. Yeah, all right. I like your observation, Fenor, that if we do find a land, we have double removal. So, or even a Phantom Carriage. Let's do it. All right, it was just another Cathar Commando, which is harsh enough here. And I think we're just dead. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are effectively dead, but we do have a top deck sweeper. So we're going to try and find our sweeper. That'd be a fun top deck. Come on, one time, Magic Gods. That'd be fun. One time! Nope, and we can't draw into it and still be able to cast it. We did get the double removal turn, but it is too little too late. We were just a little too slow for that draw. But give us an extra 10 life to work with, and I think we could wrest control of that one. Why don't we ever see this card?
And our love become a funeral pyre. Come on, baby, light my fire.
I know it's uncommon, but we like never see it. I gotta keep this, although it has the another we might get run over aspect to it. Can't throw this back though. Hey, just what we wanted to see. Multiple reasons. Archivist gives us some non-removal things to do on 3, which I really like. All right. All right. It's quit magic time. I'm not losing to a main deck duress, damn it. I am not losing to a main deck duress. Spat. I'm coming for you. Seemed like they paused, so I'm not sure what they've got at 3. I could look up their tips and tricks, but I'm just going to let this land anyway, and we're just going to Archivist. All right, want that land. They know about the Vitality. That makes it a lot worse. I think we just pitch the Vitality. I mean, Carriage is kind of the other option. It can't be Seize, and it can't be the land, so it's got to be one of these two. And they know about the Vitality. It just makes it so much worse. So I'm pitching it. Yeah, it could be. I mean, again, I've been not taking black cards to take red burn and stuff because I like the Seas deck, but black is certainly a heavily contested color. Well, they don't know about the Consider. If we send in and they block Crasher, Bat Whisperer on Crasher, we Consider, and then we at least take out the Whisperer. We can also just send the Archivist and play Hoarder. Don't mind if the Archivist trades and the Crasher is more important, and we might find removal to take out the Whisperer. So I'm going to preserve our Crasher, offer the Archivist, and Hoarder. Hoarder is another snap trade type card. I could take the land to ensure that we get the Seas, but the Neonight's Rush lets us ping either of these. You know, obviously the 2/1 I have it at a token, but I'm not going to pass up removal for the air here. Hungry for more. We're going to let that connect, but if the Whisperer comes at us, we're going to look to trade for that. I don't know where I'm at on this card. Like, this is a pretty powerful move, what they're doing right now, right? But it's not lethal. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. It's a pretty big punch. But we just take it and they all go away. So, yeah, unfortunately, we go to 9, and then we start picking off flyer. At least we pick off the heavy-hitting flyer. And eventually we get up in the air for the other one, or even get this back or something. Anyway, nothing to block. Nothing I'm going to block here. There's a land. We don't really have time for it now anyway. We're going to rush with these. See what it produces. Another mountain. Play an island. You can Consider. I'm now going to send the Crasher. I would take the trade here. If they don't block, I'll just Consider for some more damage. And then look at what we're going to draw next turn. Got 2 blockers I'm willing to put in front of the Whisper, so this seems fine. We'll take that action, which is to, say, put it in the yard. Angler interesting because it becomes a 1/2 that we can block up here, but we're going to go ahead and start with the Carriage. Well, not start with it, but we're going to try Carriage this turn. Could make a case for Channel or Angler, but or even Seeds, but I want to get up in the air, have something up in the air. Hopefully this isn't removal. We'll find out. I guess I can attack first if we're going to do that. I don't have any instants, so the Crasher is just kind of a bluff if we send it. I'm going to send the Archivist as happy to trade it, and then leave the other 2 back, mainly because I don't want to offer the Crasher on a bluff, even though they probably don't take it. They might, because they might just decide, oh, well, the toughness doesn't increase, so I'll take the... They'll cast a spell, and then I'll trade, and then if I didn't have the spell, that would be disaster. I'm just at 6 life, wanting to keep some defense. If they kill our Carriage, I want to have a Hoarder to block with. And this is another place where I'm going to go rev over another Seize the Storm. Could even rev the Angler so that we can get it up in the air if they do kill our Carriage. It gives us a second answer to a flyer if they have an answer to our first answer. So I'm going to do that. Can even do it in 1 turn here. We rev away the Angler and then cast the Drifter. All right, they didn't have removal. That's great. We found our other rush, which is great because we can kill the bat that was in our way. Heck, we can even send the carriage here. Let's see, we have a couple of blockers to play. I kind of like sending everything with the rush. Because if they don't, let's say they just don't block. Yeah, we should probably channel her first. That's fair. Let's channel her first because we can still do that. It does keep us off of Angler and Rush, but Channeler... I guess we leave Channeler Hoarder back again so that we're not devastated by a single piece of removal. But I'm going to send everything else, and we'll give up the Crasher now too. If they want to block Crasher, we ping the Flyer and are happy with that exchange. Yeah, Lunar Frenzy would be scary, but they would put it on the bat, trying to take out our Phantom Carriage, and then we get the rush to blow it out. We have to act first in that case. Okay, so they're just doing this. I am going to ping the Flyer because we need to, and it gives us a little extra damage. Not a little extra, it gives us 1 plus, you know, the 2 with the Crasher, really, is what I was looking at. Ah, found a land and still get to play the Angler. If we want to do that instead of the Rev plan, which we do given the 2 life here. Yeah, it looks like Oppo maybe just flooded. Sorry, Oppo. Although, Frenzy might even still get him there. We'd have to, like, play around Frenzy and put everything on that. 3-1 feels good. Closing in on that sweet jump to 1,400 and then pure profit. No red yet, but double consider makes this an easy keep. Heck, we even have Angler on 2, even if we don't find a mountain for a couple turns. And if Pinball here plays some 1 toughness things, we kind of win before we start. Yeah, we'll take that action. Flashback spell to the yard. Triple rush now. All right. Au revoir, Desert Shaman. More witches. We saw witches last time. We had a crap ton of neonates rushes as well. Let's consider and look for a red source, even though wouldn't allow us to play anything else here. Hey, there we go. We're going to decline to put that in our yard so that we can play it. And are we racing? Seems bad to race against red-white. So I'm going to stay back and threaten this block. Next turn we can rev away one of these spare islands. Not my dream turn 4, but I'm glad we have something to do. Obviously, if Oppo would like to play 1 toughness creatures, we'd be pleasantly surprised by that. No such luck. So, indeed, let us rev away an island over playing an Angler and then not being able to hold anything up. Next turn we get Angler plus at least hold up a rush. Revelation is an instant, so we're going to keep him guessing, keep him nervous. And pass turn. We did beat the Duress deck. We don't need to quit Magic. They flooded pretty darn hard, though, so it wasn't too much of a challenge, thanks to this game we play. Yeah, that's true. Rush is going to get a backside there if we can get to it. Hello, friend. Well, well, well. I kind of like Angler, Rush, let him build into a burn down the house board, and then try to get the sweeper action, sweeper value. And if we go Angler here, we get this 1-2. Yeah, this is kind of like whatever, but if I'm intending to eventually sweep, you can make a case for not playing this out, but it's such a non-factor. What I'm trying to do is do things that still get them to continue to build out their board so that we can get, you know, 2 or 3 of their good creatures with this. And if baiting with a medium to bad creature gets them to do that, that's good for us. I'm going to start rushing for cycling as well. Do that here. Organ Hoarder, we could do... And maybe even get a place where we change the plan and we just burn down for devils. I'm certainly thinking I want to cast my Organ Hoarder here. So I'm going to attack and hoard and be willing to even trade off the Hoarder. Yeah, I don't know what they have in hand, but it's not a counter spell, so let's keep doing this and see. Yeah, we can even make double devil tokens if we wanted, getting 6 tokens that affect... Oh, that's... Wow, okay. Okay. I see, deck, I see. Taking red just in case there's some huge red turn in which we're spending 5 red to burn Elementalist Burn or some sick... That's like 14 mana, though. Hey, look! Ask and ye shall receive.
And our love become a funeral pyre. Come on, baby, light my fire.
Nice. So now it'd probably be greedy to not just sweep the world here. Play us another creature, Pinball. Ugh, really want to see another creature. But I think it would be irresponsible to not burn down the house here at 11 life and against the Cav. Although with 2 mana, they could be holding up the instant that gives them indestructible. Yeah, Flare of Faith could be real bad here. Ooh, and there is a pause. So actually, I'm not even sure we want to do that now. I think I want to play Phantom Carriage and block next turn and draw out the Faith. And I'm going to say no attacks in case we have to chump on defense. Seize or Overwhelm. We can put the flyer out there. Well, we just want Seize. Come on. We already have the mana for it. And with this action, it's going to get pretty big. Another pyre! Wow.
And our love become a funeral pyre. Come on, baby, light my fire.
Yeah, so we totally let him faith it here, whatever. Yep. Then they're gonna play out another creature. We're not just dead. We gotta hope that last card is nothing. Let's burn it down. Oh, yeah. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cool, we can Flame Channeler and Seize. Although we could also... Elementalist Seize. Let's do that. Elementalist, get back the Seize, play the Seize on the front, and then play it on the back. Or we could just get the... we could get our bomb back and have burn ready. Maybe I'm over... I'm actually just going to go Channeler, Seize the Storm, and have Elementalist be a safety valve in case we need that burn the house again. Yeah, I'm with Gadan more. I'll start here. Oh no! Brutal. Reading the card explains the card, Jim. I've heard that. Vitality is interesting, but is not going to go well for them as we have this other copy of Rush here. And I don't even need to play the Crasher here. We're just going to pile on. Although, if they straight block the Elementalist, or they block the Channeler, I have to decide how to do this. I actually think I leave the Channeler back. Because if they block it, I have to act first. And then if I rush the 2-1, they respond with this. If I don't do anything, they get to trade Elementalist for a Channeler. So I'm not going to send that in. Yeah, I basically watched Worlds. I didn't watch all of it. I watched that sicko. There was an incredible top deck that was well set up and well covered. I was proud of my boy in coverage on that one. Exciting moments there. I also... All right, world spoilers. If you really don't want to hear anything about the results, I'm going to give a 5-second beat here for you to mute or whatever, and then I won't take too long. I'll wave again when I'm done. So I was really happy that the two of the rogue decks in the tournament faced off in the finals. That was really neat. I liked that a lot. So it gave me some hope for Standard. Anyway, and now I'll wave it. You can come back. If anybody was not wanting spoilers. What are we doing here? I just Elementalist and bring back the Burn Down the House now. I think that's fine. We even get to keep the rush up in that. And it looks like maybe we're trying to do we're trying to set up for Burn Down the House next turn, you know, so this will force Pinball to try and get through. But the secret is we have a rush in hand right now. If it's the rush, we might just be dead, but I don't know what to do about that other than tip the cap. All right. Speaking of might just be dead, turns out it's Oppo. Yeah, the Sacred Fire Lightning Helix thing. Oh, you're talking about Lightning Helix in the in that event? No, it was something else. But Lightning Helix is one of the all-time top decks. So you mentioned Sacred Fire, and I just realized that I could actually lose to Sacred Fire right there. They could go Sacred Fire to face and then untap and reburn. Looking good. Probably starting on Observer, but we'll see. Or maybe Angler. I don't know. Let's see. Just probably not risking the Channeler early on. But it depends on whether we think we're attacking or blocking from here. On which of these. Observer lets us potentially ramp to a 4-drop spell, but I don't even know if we have those. Do we end up with a 4-drop spell? Literally none. We have 2s, 3s, and 5s, kind of. Speaking of a 2. But that means we can attack pretty well. So let's play out something like... I'm going to play this because it has more toughness, which makes the Vitality's 3 toughness much better in the early board. We might end up just facing a Death Touch zombie or something, but make him have it. Note the pause here from Oppo that occurred without a creature on the battlefield, so that doesn't say Startle, but they've got something in hand that can be cast with no creatures out. Could be the... that's somewhat interesting. I think they're going to be on to us if we attack here and they're just going to take it. But then we can play the Observer and set up for 5 mana next turn. They're never blocking it in a million zillion years. I'm not really set up to play Chandelar, but I have a deep love of that game. I played it into the ground. I have my original boxes around here that I've showed chat before. I think I put them away in the garage, but I still have my Chandelar retail packaging. If that's what we're talking about, is Battle for Chandelar some other thing? Maybe we're not even talking about the same thing. Well, Observer is staying back. His Channeler going in. If I attack and they block, we are trading... We're probably doing Neonate's Rush. It just doesn't seem worth it at this point. I'm going to say no attacks in Hoarder. Another Rush, but there's actually land that we could use. Although we don't... Yeah, with the Carriage, we kind of want land. And we have a Rush already. So I'm going to take a Mountain. It takes a long time in Chandelar before you're playing Contracts from Below and winning. But yes, one of the... I've said this before on stream too, but one of the puzzles I like about Chandelar is simply what is the best deck you can make in Chandelar. It's a very different Magic deck building exercise than any other format offers. Well, we gotta try. This is obviously something's being set up here. I'm gonna actually block the Blood Chief. If we do get a trade here, I want it to be with this thing that grows. But I'm not expecting it. All right, I'll take it. Cool. Cool. Oh, getting it back. Maybe a Crawl. Crawl will be good. Yeah. At least it can't go on the Werewolf, though. We just got rid of you, sir. Sir, this is a Wendy's. I have 6 mana if we spend it on spells, but not for a Carriage. If I play the Angler, we have 4 to spend on spells, which really just means 1 spell. If I don't play the Angler, we can 2 spell, but what does that get us? We can flip the Channeler into a 3/3 and make it a 6/4, which is totally legit and relevant, so we're going to do that. We're going to keep everything up and have the ability to produce a sudden 6/4. Makes it nighttime, which is unfortunate, but it's the cost of this. We'll take the werewolf damage and try to get that Blood Chief again, or the blood. I keep saying Blood Chief because of the Blood Chief Ascension that we've seen so much of, but it's Blood Thief. Attack? Nah, we're trying to... I mean, I could send in the Observer, I guess. That's true. The Observer's not doing anything here, but maybe I should have sent in for 2. A little telegraphy, though, to send this in for 2 and not this. I like that it looks more like I'm in desperation mode on blocks. Main phase, pre-combat Delver reduces the possibilities for Oppo, which I appreciate. And yes, the 6/4 first strike is a great point. Thank you, Timber. Maybe we do want to take out the 4/4. No, but we're trying to do a block here. I'm blocking here. And nicely, we get to rush this Delver to do the flip and then Vitality it. Let's see if that, I'm gonna do this pre-blocks to see if we want to block, if they have answers or something. Pauses. There's a pause. All right, what do you got? 4 black pause. So the first strike means we could take out the Glutton, but 3/3 on 3/3 might prompt them to try and do something to get us. Yeah, if it's ambush, that would be bad. But also, what else are we doing? Because that's where we could just go... I'm going to pass to blockers, and we can actually do something like this. And then ambush, or Stolen Vitality, the Observer. And then we get something out of this. I think this plays around the likely instant speed removal we're facing here. It still means, like, we have to risk potentially a Vitality. Like, at 13, maybe I just don't block, and we don't play into that right now. I'm actually going to do this and let them act first if they want to do something to save, and just take this trade. Too much open mana, too many scary blowouts that could have been. We can Rev, pitching... Angler. Let's do that. This isn't that important to us right now, although it does threaten a double block or whatever, but I like this. Got our 6th land. This only makes blue, so we can't slash if we carriage, but we could also Elementalist hold up slash. Elementalist get rush. Elementalist gets... Then we... Yeah, that doesn't make... we would get 3 mana after that. How about... Yeah, everybody has the ward discard. It's true, so we gotta... But it's at least it's discard, it's not mana. I'm gonna go with carriage and try to block it. Yeah, we could make it day. That would be reasonable, too. Yeah, it's obviously too late for that line, but as you say it, I like it. Too late, though. Now it's where, if they kill the carriage, am I chumping with the Observer? You know what? I'm saying no, so I'm going to attack with the Observer. If it's Defenestrate, the carriage is a good play since they can't kill it. Was it just Blood Pact the whole time? Could be. I'm snapping this block off. I really feel like our long game favors us. I mean, I don't know what's in their deck, so they could have something that defeats our long game, but I'm generally just trying to get long here and win the attrition game over time. We're gonna lose 2 flashback cards. Yeah, that's a good point. That's too bad, but they have to give up their glutton for it, so we'll take that trade. Ah, that's rough. It was fine until that, but it also explains exactly what they were doing. So now, how do we get out of this? Well, they made it day, so that helps a little bit. I don't know why they didn't just pay 5. And I don't know why they didn't take out 2 of our flashback cards. That's weird. Yeah, now Slash kills it, but it's because I forgot it was switching to day. So that's great for us. Gives us a real chance here. I'm trying to figure out if I need to save Sandbag looting. I'm going to go Archivist, actually, here to start. And then we have the Slash still. And we have even... Anyway. Start here. Discard Archivist to ward. We can just discard land to ward. Well, not now. I think now we discard Vitality to ward. I mean, we discard Vitality to this and land to ward. Either way. Kinda. Oh no! I'm letting my clock go. Hold on, I better... at least do this. I wonder if I can go full control and it'll let me do something after combat. Guess we'll find out. Okay, good. I could have just done it during, I suppose. All right, I like that because I don't care. This card I don't care about. I'm happily blocking it with either of these. And Rev likes lands for pitching, but Storm likes lands to even just get this going. We could go Crasher Elementalist, have extra blockers, and get back extra good stuff. Ooh, Crash Elementalist seems really interesting because we could do the Seize loop again. Yeah, we could cast the Seize off Observer. That's fair. We lose a blocker there, but then we have 2 other ones that are pretty good. And we can save the land for the Rev, potentially. I think we're just going to find more land later, though. I'd rather just play the land, seize it up here. And heck, even potentially even get in. I don't, 2 removal spells. Although 2 removal spells, they still just take us to 2. So yeah, I'll offer the Observer here. Attack all, even. Yeah, even if they kill this, they get us to 2, right? I'm with you. Let's attack all. I'm with Scotty. We're going to get aggro. And this is fine. They get a zombie back. I am going to block it. And again, if they do have a piece of removal, they kill this and get us to 2, but we're not dead. We could be dead to, what is it, a Blood Pact. So this suggests Blade Brand or something, but again, I'm going to continue to just try to attrition this and have our long game plan hopefully be just better. Yeah, it is a Blade Brand. But I remain fine with the result. Just because trade resources, and we'll be fine. Indeed it is. Alucardio says a very prescient observation, as we could have died if we hadn't blocked. But we did. Now, Revelation, again, likes the lands. If I rev for 4, that gives us 3 left over. So we at least get a Crasher out of that, and maybe some other action. We have Observer. Maybe I should just take the creatures we have, though, and we save this Revelation for later, and I just go here and Crasher. Yeah, do we attack? I should be asking myself the attack question. And maybe we don't Crasher, maybe we just Elementalist, although that means playing the land that I was going to use for the Rev. Yeah, sure, I will attack. No, I'm not going to, because I really want to be able to attack with this. I don't want to have to block with it. And Crasher doesn't threaten a trade. So I'm gonna continue to play it super cagey or super conservative on the life prevention and the attacking front. But if somebody else wanted to get more aggressive here, I don't hate it. It's just that, you know, we're a bit on the edge at 4. Tough to know how close to play that line. Well, that's annoying because now the Elementalist can be responded to. That's the worst part of that is not losing our Rev. The worst part of that is knowing that Elementalist can't get anything now. Frustrating. But this is a nice looter. And we got the lands to loot. So I'm going to right now just try to win off the Haunt and not play the Elementalist game and let them just snap off our... I might have to, though, because this could make another token. Oh, excellent. Interesting, interesting. I'm going to pitch the island. And now we're going to make a Seize the Storm token and put this in the yard, and they're not going to be able to not... use this on the other side of it, which then frees up the Elementalist to actually get something back, potentially game-winning slash for the face, right? There's a slash in the yard, I think, right? So that's my plan. Bait the reunion with the Seize. And then we have block and eat, trade to not take any more damage if we want that.
Consider this. Consider this.
Well, that sucks. But we get this, we get this, we get this, and then we will figure out, we get Elementalist, which gives us something to, like, between Crasher, Pumping, and the spell we get, we can trade with this. But this seems fine. Crasher. What did I do? Did I screw that up, Pablo? I don't know. What do we got back here? Vitality and slash. Well, the thing is, we might have even a threatened lethal here, because we're getting 1, 2, 3. Vitality is 4, 5, 6, plus the pump here is 7, 8. So, Vitality kind of gets them to 1 if they don't block, and we get to play at 8 mana, we can even play all of this stuff. So I'm going to do that. And this is a loot, right? So we can loot. Worst case is we pitch what we draw. Oh, see, now we get Frenzy instead. Whew, wow. Wow. Frenzy is lethal with no blocks in a way that Vitality wasn't, right? Yeah. Nor is it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, isn't it once again 1 short? Plus 3. So that's 5 in the air, say. Then we trigger this, and that's 3 more. That's 8. Oh, Frenzy for 0. Yeah. Good point. All right, so we'll pitch the Crasher. I forgot about that. Good point. Frenzy for 0. Fancy play syndrome, except it's not fancy play. It's actually correct. Nice. Or Frenzy for 1, yes. We don't need to do Frenzy for 0. The point is Vitality plus Frenzy is adds the trample, which is the key here. If they block. And if not, is at least the extra point on the Crasher. I think either way, this is just great for us, right? So we go Vitality here. And then Frenzy here. Just trade? No, I like getting that thing dead. I mean, how do they beat this now? Rush, rush. Thought I heard her calling my name now. I'll discard the Hoarder crazily. Because the rush should help this just be lethal. My math said, oh yeah, maybe so. Maybe I was supposed to Frenzy for 1 million. I don't know. I got in my head about trying to find the winning line and then probably didn't play the correct board maintenance line. David's, I think, correct there. And then, sure. Now, this is lethal and this is lethal if... Yeah, okay, well, that... Yeah. There, still got him. All right. Pay no attention to the misplays. Pay attention to the profit meme. Yeah, it can be hard to find your way out of a line once you have found your way into it, you know? A little piece of new information shows up, and reparsing what the right thing to do is can be tough. Didn't cost us, but I think David was right. We've been talking a lot about art and artist, and gotta say I'm pretty disappointed in Dave Chappelle, and he's starting to be someone that doesn't make me laugh anymore. You can go bash on trans folk with J.K. Rowling and leave me alone. Nice keep. We could have killed the problem rare on Frenzy alone, they wouldn't have gone down to 1. They would have had a higher life total, but they would have had the same empty board, but with us with a vitality still available. Yeah, it did 1 extra damage, but since it didn't kill him, we should have just held the vitality and left him at 2. I'm going to start on Crasher over Angler. There are some crazy worlds where Bold Oppo decides they're going to put their Trapper in front of the Crasher, and we can Moonrager slash the other creature or something. I don't know. It's probably not going to matter. I was going to say, search party captain, Obv. One moment. There it is.
Not only am I your ship's captain, I am also your party captain. Woo! We're going to get it going here in just a few minutes.
I'm your party captain, too! And
Yeah, we're going to try and punish Oppo's Mana Stumble, but if they block this, I'll slash the Trapper and take the 2-for-1. But if not, I'm just going to play Angler. And they didn't, so we'll just Angle. Yeah, so we had a 1/3, and by casting Frenzy on it, it gets 3/3, and then we added 3 more to make it 6 points of First Strike. So 6 points of First Strike should have been enough for that, right? Thanks, Stoney. You have a great day, too. Okay. No problem for me. I'm just going to go Crasher number 2 Angler here. Order we can use to reload later. Get our primary synergy cards out to the battlefield there in the Crashers. That's a card worth slashing. I'm going to send in, though, because if they want to block the Crasher, I will slash the Trapper and then just trade with the Dawn Guard. And with Ward 1, it's going to be our only play here, but let's kill it. Porter will be a nice follow next turn, maybe in finding a 2-drop to play. Oppo on the mulligan to 5 is just done. I get it. Maybe they flooded out on top of that or something and just had nothing. Man, I hate to bio break you on the cusp of trophying here, but I do need to take a quick break. I'll be right back and we'll go for the trophy, okay? Hang on. Grow up, D. Trophy time! Let's get it! For what it's worth, drawn now, so do I. No twos. Unfortunate on the play, but we're going to keep. Too much good stuff going on here to let go. Especially the Hoarder. Do we have two of those? Didn't we end up with 2 Hoarders? Yes. That's why we keep finding Hoarders. Hey, 2-drop. Thank you, Magic Gods. I was not counting on that, but we'll happily take it. If you're taking requests, how about a 1 toughness creature from Oppo? Yes! Thank you! Hey, lottery numbers? Anybody? I don't know. Magic Gods? You got that under lock? Order next turn, probably. Do we offer our angler for their drifter ahead of Organ Hoarder? Sure, let's keep the world clear a little bit. Get up in the air ourselves. Take 2 if they don't want to trade. I mean, accept the 2 damage we get if they don't trade. Not take 2 in the traditional Magic sense. All right, Hoardy, Hoarder. We'll take our bomb. I'm willing to devil this next turn, depending on what Oppo does. Hoarder of their own, even things back up. It's funny, we're playing the same cards here, at least in the blue front. Wow, they pitched the Midnight Ambush, so we keep in mind that whatever they kept is better than that. And I don't know, we could slash and get in. We could angler and we could, we're almost at double rush though. I kind of like angler. Yeah, I'm thinking about the slash. Maybe slash and angler is fine. Really keeps the pressure on. We have burn down the house as well. I'm a little hesitant to use my best removal spell here, though. Thing is, we do have a burn down the house contingency plan, right? So, okay, I'll do it. Thanks to the contingency plan, I'm willing to do this. Yeah, Horde could be incoming. That's kind of what I'm feeling. Ooh, that's not bad. If that's what they got. A land lets us double rush that. Yeah, we had burn down, but the land gives us double rush on the abomination and continued attacks. So even though carriage also applies a ton of pressure, I'm going to take this spot while we have it. And it also does, by putting 2 rushes in the yard, sets us up for big elementals if we find our seas. And it doesn't let this trade for an Organ Hoarder. Pause suggests could be Startle. If it's Geist Wave, they might bounce this back and we lose our draw, but I'm going to make them have it. At least it self-tempos in that case. Fading Hope, a little better because they don't draw the card off of it. Scry to the top. Don't love to see that, but I love to see a big smack ahead of carriage into burn down. Consider. Is this just a spot to burn down with Consider backup? I don't think it does quite enough damage. I like the Carriage, although we don't get to hold up Consider because it uses up all red. So maybe I even hold the Mountain. We do have looting in the deck. So I'm going to go Carriage and not play the Mountain. All sorts of options here. There's our looting that we could get. Here's some looting we could get. This gets another flyer that actually trades with the Falcon. So Archivist gets its flyer trading of a flyer. Seas gets us... Yeah, we do have the mana to play Storm, it's true, but I just figure we're going to get there. We'll get there. And do we even have, like, what's going on? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there'd be 5 5s. Well, I'd rather just have a flyer than a 5/5 trampler on the ground, I think. Although, trample pretty good here. Pretty good. So... there's also the fact that 4, 5, 6, 7... Yeah, so many good options, it's tough. Four. I'm gonna go with flyer. Yeah, I see the timer. And I am gonna hold the Mountain still. I'm gonna play this one. Left a lot of mana open here. That's scary. But I think burn down the house. Let's make them have it. If they got a counter, that's fine, because we then have a Carriage that's going to do some damage anyway. Well, these have haste, so I want to play them. Play it first. If they can't counter it, they might just scoop to it, too. Yeah! They might just scoop to it, baby. How about win first, Scotty? Should we just win first? Save some clicks. All right. Carpe Festum. Festival seized. Festival seized indeed. Nice kickoff to the week. I believe this is how we kicked off last week. 7 wins. I think we only lost once too. We had a foul to give and everything. Nice. Well, gang, I cannot argue that in a vacuum it is correct to take a Moonrager's Slash over a Diregraph Horde. However, almost nobody seems to want the Red X spells deck from draft to draft. I say almost nobody because it's not guaranteed that it's not contested. And I take those early red burn spells ready to bail on it if it's not there. Don't be stubborn about it. But if the world is down on red and Red X is a successful archetype and you can be the only one doing the Red X thing there, man, success is almost just like how many crashers and uncommon synergy cards do you happen to open? Because you get them all. You get them all. It's kind of like the cycling deck that way. If nobody else is doing it, you start to just get all this stuff that's great for you and not really good for others. So, and I've had the luxury of red rares helping me out in all of my red spells runs as well. But that's another reason to do it. You get past red rares a lot. Like we got past the card we just won off of there. That was pack 1, pick 2. And so not forcing red spells, I think that would be a big mistake. But don't sleep on red spells if the tools are there. And also in a weakish pack, or if you're just feeling like doing something else, don't be afraid to take a premium, uncommon, or common red burn spell. And look for that archetype if the idea of slinging some spells matters action appeals to you. So, Yes, werewolves being not great is definitely why people avoid red, and red being not great is a factor of people overplaying the werewolf side of it. Red had... I almost wish we could see what red's win rate is in decks piloted by, platinum level drafters that have 10 or more instants or sorceries in them. Just like... I'm trying to find, because some red decks, even if they're spells decks, have werewolves in them. So you can't just say if it has werewolves, it's a werewolf deck. But some clear density that makes this a spell deck. I bet we'd see that the win rate of the spell version of the red deck is just fine. And it's the werewolf heavy version of the deck that is really struggling to do anything. Yeah. I agree with Hat's summary of the cooled down takes. The takes have cooled, and red is not unplayable, and blue-black, not even the best deck, much less the broken deck. I think it's arguably, you can debate it, but blue-white, blue-black are the most appealing places to be in the format. And yeah, draft turned out to be self-correcting. We were worried. But hey, I just got to play a red deck to 7 wins, which has happened multiple times to me over the last few days. The deck is pretty wide open most of the time. So keep an eye out for it and have fun if you find it. Bye, gang.